Welcome to Plaster Stadium, Springfield, Missouri. It's our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. A top 5 matchup as third-ranked South Dakota State takes on fourth-ranked Missouri State. And good afternoon, everyone. Along with J.C. Pearson, Scott Warman, great to have you alongside. Coach Don Patterson will be with us here momentarily. One of the biggest games ever here at Springfield during the regular season for the Missouri State Bears. Rolling in today, J.C., we can feel the electricity.
It's been building all week, Scott. The students, the players, the coaches, family members, everybody has been gearing up to today. Should be an electric atmosphere here today.
Speaking of electric, one of the most electric players in all the nation, Jason Shelley, the quarterback for Missouri State.
He's a special player, Scott. The reigning conference offensive player of the year, and he's picked up right where he's left off already. The back-to-back conference offensive player of the week. Had a great game against Arkansas last week. No question that everything with Missouri State will run through him today offensively.
Now he and the offense for Missouri State are going to face a very stingy defense as the Jackrabbits come into town here this afternoon. And as Coach Don Patterson joins us from down on the field. And Coach P, when we look at this defense and the Jackrabbits, this is a team that's very good, but however, limping into this contest today.
Well, good news for Jackrabbit fans. Adam Bach is available. He is the heart and soul of the defense. They've done a great job all season, and of course it all started with the Iowa game. Able to contain any and all offenses that they faced. This will be an ultimate challenge today. You're talking about an offense, of course, for Missouri State that throws for over 300 yards a game and yet has not thrown an interception yet. So good things for both teams. It should be a fight to the finish.
There you see head coach Bobby Bertrino as he patrols the sidelines in his third season here at Missouri State. And JC, just an incredible story as this man has turned things around quickly for the Bears program. Meanwhile, Coach John Stiglmeyer. Stig, 300th career game. He has been at Brookings for South Dakota State as a head coach and as an assistant coach for 100 years, it seems like.
And what a great program he's built there at South Dakota State. Tradition, obviously they've been winning. It's back-to-back year after year. Both of these coaches have great legacies, great histories, and doing great things for their individual schools.
Jackrabbits have made 10 straight postseason appearances. The only team that has been able to better them that in FCS is the Bison at 12 straight. South Dakota State on the road. They will receive today's kickoff. Number 3 versus number 4. And quite a matchup in our Missouri Valley Football Game of the Week here at Plaster Stadium, a near capacity crowd. And we are underway. And a little razzle-dazzle for the Jackrabbits as the return is taken out to the 31-yard line, and we have some late flags after Tyler Feldkamp was taken down at the 31 of SDSU.
How about that, right on the opening kickoff?
Got to stay on your toes, JC.
Yeah, South Dakota State, I think, trying to take advantage of maybe Missouri State being overhyped for this matchup.
So a penalty on Missouri State after return. It's a 15-yard penalty, so great field position for the Jackrabbits to set things up on the game's opening possession at the 46-yard line. Andrew Special, by the way, is our official. There he is, Mark Gronowski, back at the helm after missing all of last season for the Jackrabbits. And the Joplin native, Davis, gets the call running right side, and he will just get 1 yard on the carry. Gronowski, of course, a part of the team that in the shortened spring season of just a year and a half ago took the Jackrabbits to the title game, and opening drive, unfortunately, for Mark and the Jackrabbits. He got injured on that opening possession. Good to see him back at quarterback for South Dakota State. Coming in with a record of 2-1. Victory last week over Butler heading into this matchup against the Bears. Going up top for the first time, and he finds his receiver, Yankee, and it's into MSU territory as Jaden is wrapped up at the 38-yard line of Missouri State.
And that's a good sign for South Dakota State. You mentioned Gronowski coming back off of that injury and hasn't quite got back to the level that he was at when he was playing so well in the Conference Player of the Year, but starting to shake that rust off, starting to get back the timing, and good opening throw right there on that curl for a big first down.
And it's Jaden Yankee, at least early on, that's leading the team in receptions and yards, and now he's going to get the carry. Cuts to the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds, but a nice pickup of about 8 yards for the Jackrabbits.
And a good block out there by the running back, Isaiah Davis, leading them around the corner. So good job by South Dakota State mixing up their plays a little bit. Got a run off tackle, then they throw it for a first down, come back with the jet sweep. So giving Missouri State some things to think about.
Davis does get the carry, and good surge there by that defensive line for Missouri State. Alan Love, the junior from Birmingham, in on the stop for the Bears.
And that's going to be big for Missouri State to be able to stop the run of South Dakota State. They're a big physical running team. They really want to get their running game going. Isaiah Davis hasn't had that breakout game yet. They're expecting him to have it because he's a great talent, but for Missouri State, they've got to try to control the running game.
13th in the nation is the defense from Missouri State against third down percentage, only 25% this season. 3rd and 2, Gronowski can't handle the snap, and he's wrapped up for a loss. Montre Braswell and company in to make the stop, along with Farron Manuleleua.
Missouri State bringing some pressure that time. The snap was high right here. Gronowski, good job of getting it, but once he corralled that snap, no time to do anything with it, as Missouri State was bringing a lot of pressure, especially by that inside backer, that Manuleleua. How about that?
Hunter Dustman, who handles not only the punting chores but the kicking chores. 3 for 4 on field goals. This will be a 50-yarder. His only miss from 55 to give the Jackrabbits the lead, and it is no good, as he misses his 2nd field goal attempt of the season from 50 yards out. And so no points on the board for South Dakota State, as we'll see the Bears offense on the field this afternoon for the very first time. And for Coach Bobby Petrino, tell you what, he has definitely, we talked about in the open, JC, brought in one special player.
Yeah, he has really built this program early with a lot of transfers. 26 transfers have FBS experience, and all starts with the quarterback, though. Really brought in a special talent with Jason Shelley, and he's really taken this program under his wing.
This offense in the top 15 in the nation in 5 different offensive categories. Jason's going to go up top on his first play, and he is sacked. Sacked for a loss of about 8 yards. Great pressure against a very good defense, as we mentioned in the outset, for South Dakota State, as Caleb Sanders and Ryan Van Merrill on the inside there to sack Shelley for the loss.
Yeah, and that's going to be a key, because we talked about how great of a talent Shelley is, but he was sacked 17 times coming into this game. That makes 18. So this offensive line has got to do a much better job of giving him time to throw the ball.
Flushed out. Shelley directing traffic, going to tuck it under, and even falls short of the original line of scrimmage by about 2 yards. So now a 3rd JC and long situation facing the Bears here in their opening possession.
Yeah, and what South Dakota State is able to do is get pressure on Shelley, just rushing their front 4. So anytime they can do that, they drop 7 guys in coverage. Not a lot of room to throw the ball, but also not a lot of room, time to look for guys, because that front 4 has gotten to them 2 plays in a row.
They bring 4. Shelley a little more time. Throws, and it is complete for a first down. Or very close, I should say, to a first down, as Jordan Jones on the receiving end.
That's what you're taught as a receiver. Run beyond the first down marker. That way, if you catch the ball, you've gotten the first down, and Jordan Jones does a good job of running right to the yard marker, catches that ball, and it's enough for a first down.
Jones, transfer from Arkansas, getting his first start as a Bear against his former team in the near upset against the Razorbacks in Fayetteville last week. Now the pitch, first run of the afternoon for the Bears, and the pitch goes to Dakota Wright, the Kansas State transfer. He is a sophomore from Decatur, Illinois. Rushed over 100 yards a couple of weeks ago against UT Martin. Wright gets the call again, cuts the corner, and good pursuit by that linebacking core for South Dakota State. Another 3rd and long situation. When we were talking to the folks from South Dakota State earlier this week, JC, they were telling us not only about the injuries, but of course kind of a question mark, and as coach mentioned, Adam Bach, who is the leader on that defense, but they're really thin as far as experience is concerned in that second line of defense.
Yeah, they are. They're playing well so far, obviously early in the game, but injuries, depth, this heat, all that's going to play a factor in a game like today.
Shelley has time underneath, caught but short of the first down. Terrific open field tackle was made there, and that was by Peyton Schaefer. 4th down punting situation for the Missouri State Bears. We talk about their offense and so much success. Their special teams is also special. Grant Burkett is their punter. He is a preseason All-American. This guy has a huge right foot. Nice high kick, and it'll be caught, fair catch at the 7-yard line. So when we come back, South Dakota State football scoreless between the Bears and the Jackrabbits. The Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Back at Plaster Stadium, our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. J.C. Pearson, Coach Don Patterson, Scott Warman, great to have you with us. Second possession for South Dakota State, the 3rd-ranked team in the country, taking on number 4 Missouri State here in Springfield. A huge crowd still filing in at Plaster Stadium. And whistles and flags before the snap of the first play of this possession for South Dakota State, and they're going to be called for illegal procedure. You mentioned, J.C. Kronowski trying to get back into the flow of things. Game speed, as you know, playing the game at the highest level is different from actual practice. They had 5 plays last week of 20 or more yards, 5 explosive plays. Before that, they only had 1. So it sounds like things are starting to turn the right corner. Yeah, the more you play, and obviously this is, you know, we're in 4th game of the season now, so that rust should be wearing off. But, you know, obviously last week they played Butler. This week they're playing Missouri State, so little jump in competition. So he's going to have to speed things up a little bit today. From his own end zone, Kronowski throws a strike, and it is complete. A huge gain to the 26-yard line. Zach Hines makes the reception for the Jackrabbits. And that's a good sign, because Kronowski, you see, he understands where the hole is in the defense and is able to throw it on time. A little behind Hines, but still was the right throw. He was able to make it, and it got them out of the shadow of their own end zone, which gave them so many problems against Iowa week 1. So we mentioned just the plethora of injuries, especially coming out of that Iowa game where they just barely lost. Tucker Kraft, who is an outstanding tight end, he's still injured. Landon Wolf, one of their top wide receivers, also out in today's game. They go to the ground game. Penalty flag. It's a first down, as that was Amar Johnson on the carry. But again, the penalty flag back down at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I think the reason why Amar Johnson was able to get around the edge so easily, I think they're going to have a hold there on South Dakota State. Looks like Garrett Greenfield is going to be whistled for the infraction.
And of course, he doesn't agree with it, but they never do. But number 74 right there on the end, you see right there, got his hands outside of the shoulders and just turned Jalen Williams, number 95, and out there on the edge. That's an easy call. They'll see you out there every time.
There you see those studs on that left side of the offensive line for South Dakota State. McCormick and Greenfield, both preseason All-Americans, helping to protect Gronowski as he sets up the screen. And Yankee is hauled to the ground at the 22, 5 yards on the pickup.
Just trying to, nice quick throw, just trying to get some yards, but Missouri State does a good job of rallying to the ball, especially Manulele Uwa, the inside backer, been playing really well for them defensively, number 5.
Yeah, it had 8 tackles against Arkansas last week in the tough loss against Arkansas. Now to the ground game. Davis breaking some tackles. What an effort as he'll get the first down. Finally wrestled to the ground at the 38-yard line. 16 yards on the pickup.
Yeah, and that's his longest run of the year, but he showed you everything right here. Great vision. Look at the jump cut right there. Runs with power. Able to get up the field, and that's what they've been looking for. He's obviously very capable. Like I said, that's his longest run of the year. They're expecting a lot more from that young man. They said that he's unquestionably going to be a 1,000-yard rusher for him.
Well, he's kind of taken over the reins as the primary running back. Eric Strong obviously spending some glorious years in Brookings. 120 yards for Davis a couple of weeks ago against UC Davis. Now Gronowski up top, and it is caught by Yankee into Missouri State territory, and Jackson is wrapped up right around the 40-yard line.
I tell you, Jackson Yankee, great route right here. Watch him sell the post and come back on that corner route. He's able to get down the field and get open, and that's kind of his forte. He's the more possession receiver of the two brothers. A little more physical, a little more better blocker, but runs those intermediate routes and did a great job of running that post corner.
1,165 yards receiving for Jacks last year for the Jackrabbits. And the carry going to the outside. That's Johnson. And Johnson with a big pickup, finally out of bounds inside the 20. Down to the 17-yard line.
And a good sign for South Dakota State is that was off of the right side, and that right side of their offensive line has been the one that's kind of been in flux. You mentioned the All-Americans on the left side. The right side has struggled a little bit with injury, and I think they've got the right 2 guys in there this week, and that's a good sign that they're able to get a big gain off the right side.
7 first downs now for the Jackrabbits early on. And a little reverse play. And cutting the corner inside the 10 is Jackson Yankee. And he's finally ridden out of bounds on the near sideline to the 3.
Great play call. Get the flow going one way, and then Jackson Yankee back. And watch, look at big number 74 Greenfield out there leading the way for him. For a guy that's 6'6", 305 to be out in space like that and be able to get a block on a defensive back, that's a tough thing for those big guys to do. He did a great job.
And as you know, it's a perfect example. You don't necessarily have to be out there hitting somebody. You can just be a big screen, and he's a big screen.
Absolutely. Just get in the way.
Davis with the carry on 1st and goal, and he's stuffed after a gain of 1. Kevin Ellis, the senior from Fort Worth, Texas, top defensive lineman for the Bears on the stop.
You know, Scotty, we talked about how this offense still trying to find their rhythm. One place they've been very good is in the red zone. They've scored touchdowns 8 out of 10 times, which is huge.
Oh, and Davis is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit there, and that was Caleb Blake coming in from his cornerback spot, and it's now 3rd and goal, JC.
Yep. Missouri State being aggressive. Watch the corner come off the edge right there. Braswell back there. Blake back there. Penetration is the way to blow up plays, especially down in the red zone.
Well, let's see what Coach Stig has thrown up here on this 3rd and goal from the Missouri State 3. Bears fans on their feet. Gronowski, end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown. Jaden Yankee with the 3-yard touchdown catch, and the Jackrabbits strike first.
Run that slot fade. That's probably the toughest route for a defensive back playing in the slot, because you have to protect the inside first. And those slot guys now just sprint to the corner and run away from you. You can see right here just a slot fade, just a sprint to the corner. Braswell has his head turned because he's chasing, and it's just an easy throw and catch for Gronowski to Yankee.
Dustman with the extra points. So with 2:25 remaining in the opening quarter of play on South Dakota State's second possession, they march over 90 yards. They get the Yankee touchdown reception. 3rd-ranked team of the country has the early lead here in Springfield. Back at Plaster Stadium, our Missouri Valley Football Conference game of the week. Jackrabbits with a 92-yard drive on their second possession of this opening quarter, and they have the lead at 7-zip against the 4th-ranked team in the country, the Missouri State Bears. Number 3 versus number 4 as we get set for the kickoff. Montre Braswell set to return this kickoff, the most dangerous kickoff returner, and no surprise, South Dakota State decides to kick it away from Braswell, and rightly so, as he's already returned 1 kick for a touchdown. He's done 3 in his career. When we come back, Missouri State's offense tries to answer as they trail it by a touchdown. Family weekend here in Springfield at Missouri State. Big matchup. Missouri State taking on South Dakota State. Number 4 versus number 3 as the Bears are on the field offensively for the second time. We go down on the field, check in with Coach Don Patterson. And Coach, we mentioned how stymieing and stifling this defense can be for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, that was impressive on their part to prevent Missouri State from any kind of significant gain. I was so impressed with the play calling of South Dakota State coming off the goal line. They did a good job of attacking inside. They also attacked wide. They also had play action pass, of course, and they also had misdirection. So a really good job of keeping Missouri State off balance.
Certainly have. They've shown a couple of trick plays, so to speak, and as you mentioned, some misdirection plays to kind of keep the Bears on their toes, as the first carry is good for about 5 yards for the Bears, again on their second possession here in the opening quarter. Shelley feeling the pressure again and just has to throw it away. I mean, he had 3 different white jerseys, JC, just breathing down his neck.
He did, and they only rushed 3, and all 3 of them got back there and gave Shelley absolutely no time to look downfield. And that defensive line can continue to dominate like they have the first 2 drives here. It's going to be a long day for this Missouri State offense.
Well, one of the things I think Coach Petrino's staff will have to do if this continues to try to do a little more max protection, right?
Yeah, and get rid of the ball quicker. Run some screens. Just get the ball out of Shelley's hands. Don't let the rush get to him.
Jackrabbits bring 4 on this 3rd down. Shelley unloads, and it is, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Avon Latulis, who was a former running back, but now starts at wideout for Bobby Petrino's offense.
Yeah, he ran that like a running back. I think he might have misplayed the ball just a little bit. And just at the end right there was just got one hand out there. I think if he had that over to do again, I think he would lay out a little bit and make that play.
McCoy was in on the coverage for South Dakota State, so Burkett back in for his second punt of the afternoon. Nice high driving kick. And wisely, Feldkamp will just call the fair catch once again as we have a $1:21 left in this opening quarter of play. South Dakota State going 92 yards in their last possession to score the game's first touchdown.
You talked, Scott, about how great a kicking game Missouri State has. And we saw the one punt that obviously started that 92-yard drive, but the punter did his job. Punter did a great job on this one, too. Like you said, high distance, forced a fair catch. And to have a weapon like that, especially when your offense is struggling a bit, really helps flip the field position game.
It is a huge game, and as the South Dakota State fans know, that was a part of their unfortunate loss in Iowa City to open up the season. Iowa only be able to get 3 points from an offensive standpoint against this terrific defense for South Dakota State. A pair of safeties, and that was the difference in the game, all about field position and possession, and that favored, unfortunately, Iowa, as South Dakota State fell short of trying to get the big upset on the road to open up the season a few weeks ago. Gronowski trying to hit underneath, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Jackson Yankee.
Yeah, not a good looking throw there. Obviously a little pressure in his face, but rolling out to his left, always tough for a right-handed quarterback. And that ball got away from him a little bit there. Lucky they didn't get an interception on that one.
So 3rd and 6 from the Jackrabbits' own 30-yard line as time winding down in our opening quarter. Gronowski back up top, throws complete to Jaden Yankee, makes a nice move to get the first down, takes a couple of hits, wrapped down at the 42, but more importantly, as the clock stops to move the chains because of another first down.
And that was a great throw by Gronowski to the wide side of the field, throws it on time. Great job. They don't run the slot fade this time, they run the slot curl. Yankee's able to just catch the ball and turn it up for a first down, but that slot, he's thinking slot fade because he got beat on the touchdown on that. This time he just curls up on him.
And that'll be it. 15 minutes in the books in our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. Game of the Week in America, number 3 versus number 4, and it has not disappointed as the Jackrabbits on the road taking on Missouri State on family weekend. And right now, South Dakota State leads by a touchdown as we get set for the second quarter of play. Here's a shot at the Missouri State radio booth, and you see there Corey Riggs calling the game today, and just to your left there on the screen, the tribute to Art Haynes, the longtime voice of the Missouri State Bears. And while we are so pumped up for this top 5 matchup, it's also coming with heavy hearts as Art Haynes, the longtime, and I mean longtime voice of the Missouri State Bears, in fact an institution of sports here in the Ozark area, is in the hospital. Happened earlier this week after the Arkansas game, and he is in intensive care. The great news about Art is the fact that from what reports we're getting, even from folks that visit him in the ICU today, that Art is slowly improving. And obviously prayers, thoughts to Art's family. And Art is literally not only an institution here in Springfield, but for all of the Missouri Valley Conference. He's been around for over 40 years, folks, and we want to see Art back in that booth sooner rather than later.
Amen.
Second down carry, and it looks like JC might be just a little shy of that first down marker on that run, and we're really seeing a lot of Amar Johnson, at least here in the opening half.
Yeah, and not only that, South Dakota State is executing their game plan to a T so far. They told us they wanted to control the clock, control the ball, win time of possession, keep Missouri State and that offense and Jason Shelley on the sideline. And you look at the numbers in the first quarter alone, they had the ball for over 10 minutes. And so obviously they're executing very well so far.
3rd and a yard. Davis. Great surge by the Bears defensive line. And Isaiah is going to fall well short of that first down. In fact, loses a yard or two.
Yeah. Penetration. Blows up the play in the backfield. You can see just a host of maroon jerseys back there. Couldn't see the number of who initiated. I think it was Devin Goree, actually, number 14.
Right. Yep.
There he is right there. That was the one with the penetration and the initial hit.
Hunter Dustman, as we mentioned, handling all the kicking chores for South Dakota State. In fact, he was busy in that Iowa game. A school record 11 punts against the Hawkeyes. And a nice kick takes a Jackrabbits bounce. And the Bears are going to be pinned inside their 10 with their first possession here in the second quarter. Third-ranked Jackrabbits lead it by a touchdown here at Springfield. Kelly, thanks so much. There you see the crowd, the student section pouring in here at Plaster Stadium, and we look at the numbers through the first 15 minutes here, JC. Yeah,
we talked about time of possession and keeping that offense off the field. Exactly what South Dakota State wanted to do. Look at Missouri State offensively. 20 total yards and only 4 minutes and 40 seconds time of possession that first quarter.
And they're pinned at their own 9 on their first possession here in quarter number 2. And they'll go to the ground game, and you don't really find too much running room with this defense. As we told you in the outset, Coach Patterson mentioned how tough this rush defense is. 6th in the nation heading into today's contest, only allowing 53 yards per game. Yikes.
Especially when you let a guy like Adam Bach just run right through your offense without even touching him. He's going to make the tackle every time. He's their leading tackler. And, you know, this defense is tough to run against as it is. When you don't block somebody, I mean, it's almost impossible to run against.
Shelley feeling the heat again, throws, and forces a situation where it'll be third down now for Missouri State.
And South Dakota State, that front four, you got to give those guys a lot of credit. Not only are they getting pressure on Jason Shelley, but they're keeping him in the pocket also. That time it looked like he wanted to try to escape, but he couldn't get outside, so he just had to stay in the pocket and throw the ball away.
And the Bears are saying that we had a procedure, or an offsides call, if you will, against South Dakota State. We'll get the official indication here. So it'll help by 5 yards. So it'll be a 3rd and 6 now for Jason Shelley and the Missouri State offense.
That's one of their best plays of the game so far.
1 for 3 on 3rd downs. Jackrabbits bring 3. Shelley still flushed out, running for his life, and he's dropped down for another loss and another sack.
The pressure just right up the middle. And Caleb Sanders, Van Marl, watch in his face. Coming right in his face. He really doesn't have time to do anything because the pressure is right on him. Caleb Sanders in the middle, coming up the field. Cade Tervier around the edge. And this front four right now is just completely dominating this game.
So Burkett with the punt from his own end zone, and again he gets a huge punt off, and the fair catch is called. But the Jackrabbits again getting terrific field position as they'll start this possession at midfield when we come back.
It's a lot of work to go through an entire vehicle and fix any potential issues before it's ready to sell. At Kendall, we don't do guesswork. After our 163-point inspection, we know that vehicle is safe and ready to go. All that means one thing: confidence. Shop any Kendall dealership and you're covered with the Kendall Auto Protection Plan included in the purchase. Buy with confidence. Drive with peace of mind. Kendall, let's start something great.
All right, fans, to get all the recent news on the league's premier FCS conference, follow Missouri Valley Football at valley-football.org and at Valley Football on Facebook and Twitter. Gronowski unloads. Hines with the reception. Big gain inside the 30. And Hines is finally wrapped to the ground at the Missouri State 23-yard line.
Great play design by South Dakota State. And really the key is how much time Gronowski has to throw the ball. It allows Hines to come all the way across the field uncovered, and it's really an easy throw for him. Hines 6'7", 260, big target, catches the ball, and it's a big gain for the Jacks.
27 yards to be exact on the gain, and Jackrabbits missed a field goal on their opening possession. Second possession, driving 92 yards for a touchdown. Failed on their third, but the fourth possession, they're knocking on the door again. Jaden Yonke on the reception. He gets inside the 20, down to the 17 for a 6-yard gain, and it's the second time we've seen this Jackrabbits offense in the Missouri State red zone.
And that's a win on first down. If you can gain 6 yards on first down, you'll take that every time. And really it puts the Missouri State defense in one-on-one situation. It was 3-on-3 out there, so somebody's got to make a play. And that's what this offense is designed to do, kind of spread you out and make everyone have to make a play at some point.
A lot more options when you get that big gain on first down. Gronowski, pressure, and he's sacked. Sacked for a loss. Back to the 25-yard line. Jalen Williams with his second sack of the season.
And that's what they got to do more of, Missouri State, is penetrate. Get up the field, try to blow up some of these plays, and Jalen Williams coming off the right side right there of the screen is able to get up the field, beat the block, and get the big sack. But that's what they've got to do more of, is just penetration and try to blow up some of these South Dakota State plays.
Almost looked like a broken play there, JC, didn't you think, maybe?
It looked like he came off his first read and was trying to look elsewhere. Williams didn't give him enough time to do that.
Davis swinging out, and they do a little middle screen with Yonke, and he'll get back to that 17-yard line, but that's it. Bend but don't break for the Bears defense once again.
You would think that's a win for this Missouri State defense. They started at their own 49, gave up a big pass play, but if they can just hold them to 3 points here, that'll be considered a win for them.
Absolutely. Hunter Dustman, who missed from 50 yards out. This is a 35-yard field goal, trying to make it a 2-score game. And the kick is partially blocked. No good. Second miss by the field goal unit for South Dakota State. And Missouri State standing tall as South Dakota State is left empty-handed.
Yeah, that's a big-time win now. Not only do you not give up the 3 points, you get the block, and it's a great job. Tico Brown right through the middle, and see him get that hand up, that right hand right there, deflect that ball, but great job penetrating right through the middle, gets his hands up, and what a big stop for that Missouri State defense, coming away with no points given up.
Great job by our crew there to get that great shot on the partially blocked field goal. Let's see if Missouri State gets some momentum. No way. I mean, just absolutely hammered right at the line of scrimmage, actually behind it by number 26, Stephen Arrow.
Yeah, and you can see they want to throw the ball quick, but you got a block on the outside too, and Arrell just beats the block and just comes up with a big tackle there.
So here's Missouri State's offense right now. 12 yards of offense, 19 of penalty yards gained.
Wow.
So more on penalties than actual offense. And the out pattern to Jones, and Jordan is wrapped up at the 25-yard line.
You can see the first couple plays of this drive, they just want to get the ball out of Jason Shelley's hands quickly. First play is a quick screen outside. The next one is a quick stop to the other side, wide side of the field, but they've got to do something to neutralize this rush, and right now it's just get rid of the ball quickly.
Bears 1 for 4 on third downs in this first half. Here comes the pressure. Shelley's going to tuck it, and he slides, trying to get the first down. It's going to be oh so close, as that first down marker is at the 30-yard line. No official indication as of yet. Nope, they're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, I think he got just enough, but had to work awfully hard to get that first down. Wanted to throw the ball, but again, the pressure is on him so quickly, he doesn't have time to set up and look down the field. So just trying to find a lane to run, it got just enough for a first down.
And not much going as per usual against this South Dakota State defense with the run game.
Number 99, Caleb Sanders.
Well, you would think that something can be open downfield. We haven't seen Shelley really open it up except for maybe one play. But also, you got to think of the other part of it. You got to give him time to do it, right?
Exactly, to look downfield. He has no time to let those guys even run down the field to try to get open.
Right again with the carry, breaks a couple of tackles. Good effort as he gets to the 35 with a 3-yard gain. Adam Bach, the junior, again on the stop. The leading tackler for South Dakota State had the 13 tackles and Defensive Player of the Week honors in the opening week against the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, this front seven is so active. They're so physical up front. We talked about the pass rush, but against the run, those front four guys eat up the blocks and allow linebackers like Adam Bach to run to the ball and just make all those tackles.
Shelley flushed again, throws, he is hit immediately. Jones does a nice job coming back and making the reception. What a job there by Jordan Jones.
Yeah, and Shelley. Shelley's under a lot of pressure and took a big shot there at the end, but you can see the pressure's on him so quickly that really only can make one read. Great job by Jones coming all the way back and being able to make that catch. I didn't know if he was going to be able to get there, but he did.
We saw them do that earlier in their opening possession for a first down, and now whistles before the snap. So we're going to go get a review to make sure that Jordan Jones made the reception. When we come back, we'll let you know if the reception holds. Bears trail South Dakota State 7-0. So this reception by Jordan Jones was reviewed during the break, and they are saying yes, it is a reception. And so another first down as they move the chains for the Bears as they trail South Dakota State 7-0 with 4:30 and counting in this opening half of play. Number 3 versus number 4 here in the Ozarks. Play action. Shelley dropped for another loss. Wow. Just absolutely impressive. Adam Bach gets his first sack of the season.
And that time they bring more than 4.
Yep.
Obviously, they bring the backer through the middle and one on the outside. And Missouri State offensively, they just have no idea who's coming from where and not able to give Shelley any time to look down the field.
I like the play action pass look. Actually, JC, we haven't seen that yet, but
it takes time, right?
Jackrabbits were not fooled at all, even with the blitz coming.
And you need to run the ball a little bit for the play action part.
All right, so they swing it out, and Wright is head over feet tackled at the 44, right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. And then, so that's the other thing. When you're dropping back in zone coverage, all eyes are on the ball, the quarterback. So even now he's got to get rid of it quickly. All eyes are seeing the throw, breaking on the throw. And that's why the runners after the catch right now don't have very much room to work with either.
3rd and 12. They bring 4. Shelley, this time a little bit of time, now throws, and there is no one in the zip code there for an incomplete pass. And you can see Jason Shelley a little frustrated right now, JC.
Yeah, I would say more than a little frustrated, right? A lot of frustration on that young man's part, but what he's probably got to start doing is using his legs more. Obviously the pressure we've been talking about it all half, but he's got to try to get out of there now and try to make some things happen with his legs.
They're kept back in for another punt. Another terrific kick, and the fair catch at the 15-yard line of South Dakota State. 2:53 left in the opening half. Back at Plaster Stadium with J.C. Pearson, Scott Warman, Coach Don Patterson join us from down on the field. And Coach, quite a contrast in these offenses here right now as we see 83 total yards offense for South Dakota State and just 38, Coach, for Missouri State.
Yeah, this is a game through the first 27 minutes. One quarterback is very comfortable in the pocket. The other one is not. That's simply because one team has run the ball effectively. That's, of course, South Dakota State. Missouri State has not. Even though Missouri State runs play action, it doesn't have very good effects because they haven't been able to establish a run.
And we appreciate Coach Don Patterson, of course, one of the all-time great coaches in Missouri Valley Football Conference history, and what he did especially at Western Illinois. In fact, Coach being in Macomb last week as they celebrated one of the all-time great teams of many that he had in Macomb from 19-20 years ago. And Back was telling us during our production meeting as carry for a first down by Davis. Coach Stiglmeyer, as we mentioned, his 300th career game, and there was some reminiscing going on about a game that actually went into several overtimes in 2007, the year before South Dakota State and North Dakota State joined the Missouri Valley Football Conference. So that kind of gave us a little tease of what was ahead for the entire conference, with both the Jackrabbits and the Bison joining the best conference in all of football. And there's some pressure by Missouri State, JC, right there to force Gronowski to unload a little early on.
Yeah, they've got to get a little more aggressive. You see Caleb Blake that time just comes right through the middle, and he's normally a corner, just comes right through the middle and forces that bad pass. But they can't just sit back and play base defense and try to rush 3 or rush 4. They've got to bring an extra guy if they're going to get pressure on Gronowski.
2nd and 10. Bears have all 3 of their timeouts remaining if they want to stop the clock to get a possession here. Swings it out, and Hines with his 3rd reception of the afternoon for a pickup of 4. Out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:28 left. More of Zach Hines in this offense from a tight end perspective, which is utilized quite a bit by South Dakota State. As we mentioned, Tucker Kraft unfortunately injured in that battle against the Iowa Hawkeyes up in Iowa City to open up the 2022 campaign. 3rd and 6. Gronowski feeling the pressure, and he's got to throw it away again. Good defensive pressure on that particular defensive possession there, JC, by the Bears.
Yeah, it was bringing. That time they brought 6. They brought 2 guys off the edge as well. Taj Chambers, number 26, coming off of one side, and really the pressure didn't get to him. He just started to rush his throw and rush his read to not let them get there. But that's what bringing an extra guy and just getting in his face may do to help.
Hunter Dustman, 2nd punt of the afternoon. Davion Mitchell. Wow, going all the way back to his 17-yard line.
Got some room.
Has some room. Mitchell tripped up. Beautiful return to the 46-yard line with 68 seconds remaining, and the Bears trying to get on the board as they trail it 7-0 before we wrap up the opening half. 53-yard punt and a 29-yard return.
And that's sometimes what you need. You just need somebody to make a play for you, to give you some momentum, get you excited. Now they've got great field position, 1:08 left. Now see if this offense can give Shelley some time, or if he starts using his legs more.
And they have all of their timeouts in their back pocket as well. Shelley, and it is snipped out on the draw play. Another terrific tackle by Reese Winkleman.
Jason Shelley stops in the backfield.
This defensive line not only playing so well, they're not even fooled.
Yeah, we talked about the injuries and how we thought the depth was going to be an issue. Well, geez, that hasn't come to fruition as of yet.
No. Oh, and pass defended. That was a dangerous pass as Shelley trying to find Jordan Jones, but great coverage there by Malik Lofton.
Yeah, and Shelley's lucky on this one because you really don't want to throw the ball all the way across the field, especially with that corner playing off and reading that. That's a long throw. Malik Lofton got there to knock it down, but Shelley's lucky he didn't get there a step sooner and make that pick six.
They're down 12, and that pass is one hop to the intended receiver. And it'll force a 4th down situation with 32 seconds left. Well, yeah. I'm stating the obvious here, JC, but the name of this opening half between these two top 4 teams has been South Dakota State's defense.
No doubt about it. And that was a pressure throw with no pressure because he was so used to the pressure getting in his face. He rushed that throw and short-armed it, and it was incomplete. But that's what happens. You start seeing guys, you start expecting the pressure when you get it so often. Sometimes even when it's not there, you force things.
Bill Camp is going to let this one go into the end zone. And so the Jackrabbits offense will head out on the field with 24 seconds left and a lead at 7-0. Well, I want to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised at this one, just from the simple fact that we haven't seen more scoring. We saw the output by a Missouri State offense against the 10th ranked team in FBS last week on the road against 70,000 people as well.
Where's that offense, right? I mean, they can't get anything going here today. You got to credit South Dakota State, especially that front seven. But
without question.
Yeah, but you would have thought that they, would be able to move the ball at least a little bit.
Conversely, it's South Dakota State. They have the 7-0 lead as it stands. A couple of missed field goals. In fact, one was partially blocked. You had the other field goal that was 50 yards out. They've been able to actually sustain some drives, but have only been able to capitalize on one of those with the touchdown. Johnson with the run, and he'll be wrestled to the ground at the 27-yard line. And the clock stops with 15 seconds left. Timeout called by South Dakota State.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah, you would have thought if they were going to be that aggressive, they try to throw the ball down the field, but maybe they like that 8 yards that they gained on first down. And now with them taking a timeout, you got to expect a trick play, something to try to get down the field. Why else would they take a timeout?
This is the 13th meeting between these two teams, and in the previous 12 it's been, folks, one-sided. South Dakota State has an 11-1 advantage in this meeting between these two teams. The only victory for Missouri State came here at Plaster Stadium back in 2014. Obviously Missouri State chomping at the bit to break that record and try to pick up a second victory against this very tough Jackrabbits team. Gronowski up top hits Hines once again and gets into Missouri State territory. Wrapped up at the 41, and another timeout is called with 8 seconds left.
That's why they took that timeout, to be aggressive. And hey, what a great throw by Gronowski. Obviously, Zach Hines having a big half, but put that right on the money. That skinny post right there, got right behind the linebacker in front of the safeties, and it's a big gain. And now the 8 seconds left, they got a chance to either take another shot or a quick throw, stop the clock again, and see if they can get in field goal range.
Can you be in that set of mind if you're on the other side of Missouri State thinking, oh, they got the 7-point lead, they're probably just going to sit on it, right? Can that be a thought process potentially?
But not after a timeout. They took a timeout for a reason, right? If they were going to be conservative and just try to get in the locker room, they wouldn't have taken the timeout, just ran the ball or kneeled it, but they're taking a timeout for a reason. So you got to be thinking, hey, trick play or something down the field, and Missouri State doesn't get deep enough. You might as well get deep. Keep everything in front of you in this situation.
Jacks still have one more timeout left. Let's see what they can do here. 8 seconds left. Gronowski downfield. It's connected again by Hines, and he wisely runs out of bounds to stop the clock with 2 seconds left, and now they can set up Dustman for a potential long field goal and try to extend their 7-point lead.
How smart of a play was that?
Oh.
Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to try to get as many yards as I can get, understands the clock situation, gets out of bounds, the clock stops, and now they've got a chance to get some points on the board.
And that's why Coach Stig has been one of the best for so many years. 26 years at the helm in Brookings, and so much success. You see on the back of the helmets the last play, and I know the folks in Brookings know all about that. And for those maybe not completely familiar, and we were talking about this with the South Dakota State folks this week, is the last play. Remember the last play in the national championship game in the spring of 2021, or else they might have had a national title. But this has been something of a theme even beyond that, the South Dakota State folks have told us. But obviously headline with that tough loss in the title game just a year and a half ago. All right, so this is going to be a 44-yard field goal. Dustman 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Can he extend the lead for the Jackrabbits? Oh for 3, no good, wide left. So as we head to their respective locker rooms, the 4th-ranked Missouri State Bears on family weekend hosting the 3rd-ranked South Dakota State Jackrabbits. It's a 7-0 lead, JC, for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, and Missouri State's got to feel pretty lucky that it is only a 7-point lead. If you're South Dakota State, you got to figure that, hey, we think we can make some plays. We saw some things in that last drive.
All right, coming up, we'll have our halftime show. We'll bring you highlights, stats, and we'll hear from the athletic director of Missouri State, Kyle Moats. That's all coming away from Plaster Stadium when we come back on our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. Springfield, Missouri, Plaster Stadium, as we continue with our halftime coverage of our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. South Dakota State and Missouri State, 2 teams ranked in the top 5, going motto-y-motto here this afternoon. When we come back, we'll have more of our halftime show from the Ozarks when we return. Halftime here in Springfield, Missouri, and Plaster Stadium. Top 5 matchup between South Dakota State and Missouri State. And joining us right now, the athletic director here at Missouri State, Kyle Moats. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Scott.
Pretty big day today here, and I want to first preface this by telling folks, I remember meeting Kyle his first year here, and when we got done with the halftime interview, you told me how you knew basketball was big, men, women, soccer, baseball. You wanted to build up the brand of football. Congratulations. You've done it. You've got so many people tailgating here before the game. The house is packed here today, and you have a winning program thanks to Bobby Petrino as well. What's the vibe just all over campus and then really in the city with this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's changed everything. A winning football program can do that to your community and do that for university. And Bobby's done what I think maybe a lot of people didn't think could happen, and especially at the level that he's done it. So I think the biggest thing is he's given us hope. He's shown us that it can be done, and in the country that it can be done here at Missouri State. Tremendous amount of pride in our former players and in our university. And then the other thing that I think is really important is a sense of urgency to get things done to try to help him succeed even further and continue that success.
And he did it when there was a pandemic and was still trying to recruit kids to come here to Springfield. That's what makes it even so amazing how quickly he's turned things around. Speaking of new coaches, you have a couple of new coaches. Let's start with the fall team, the men's soccer. John Leamy, who's one of the all-time institutions here, retires, but you have a nationally ranked soccer team again here playing tonight, and a new coach, but still some winning soccer here in Springfield.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Mike Siebold is now our head coach, and he'd been the assistant coach for, I think, 12 or 13 years. So it wasn't that much of a transition for Mike to go into the head coaching position, but nonetheless, it's always somewhat of a change when you have a new head coach, and he's picked up right where John left off. And again, we're nationally ranked. We start with Evansville tonight with conference play, but I'm really excited about where that program has also come, and that's been more of a gradual increase in success, but we're at a pretty good spot right now, and we want to make sure we keep that as well.
Other new new coach is a basketball coach on the women's side, Beth Cunningham. Most people out there know how big Lady Bears basketball has been for decades, as we know here in Springfield. Tell us a little bit about Beth and what she brings to the table.
Yeah, I am really, really happy to have Beth. I mean, she's everybody knows her in the country. She's a national brand herself. Got her from Duke. Had been at Notre Dame for a long period of time, played at Notre Dame. She's a winner. She won at Virginia Commonwealth as a head coach early in her career. We're happy that she wanted to come back and be a head coach. That was the part that I wasn't for sure if she wanted to be, but she did, and we are so lucky to have her. She's just a quality person, quality family. Dan, her husband, is a great guy as well. So I think we got the whole package with Beth.
All right, as we quickly wrap things up here, obviously what's on our minds besides this big game is our dear friend Art Haynes, as we all know, is hospitalized right now. Biggest game in Missouri State history at home, and unfortunately Art is not here. We're hoping that the longtime voice of the Bears will be back with us sooner and can recover quickly, and obviously we're hoping for the best for Art.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I know there's been a lot of people throughout Missouri Valley Conference and throughout the country, and especially here in Springfield, that sending their thoughts and prayers, and we appreciate that, and I know their family does too. So keep it up, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Kyle, thank you as always.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Kyle Moats, the athletic director at Missouri State here. We're at halftime. It is the Jackrabbits and the Bears. More coming up from Plaster Stadium when we come back.
Congratulations.
The Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. J.C. Pearson, Scott Warman with you. J.C., if you look at some of the highlights from the first half, and it's all about South Dakota State's defense.
Oh, that front seven was dominant. You can see just the pressure they've been able to get on Shelley, just rushing forward, getting up the field. They had 3 sacks, but in the run game, just unblocked guys. Adam Bach coming off the edge. But then, look, again, inside, Van Marl takes on 2 guys, gets right in the face of the quarterback, and again, off the edge comes Adam Bach, and Missouri State just simply had no answer for the front seven for the Jackrabbits.
And the other impressive part of that is the fact that most higher percentage of the time with the pressure on Jason Shelley and company has come with just 4 men.
Yeah.
Very few times we saw Bach come in one time, and that was pretty much it as far as any blitzing concerned.
That front 4 has been dominant so far in this game, and really just stifled this entire Missouri State offense. We'll see what kind of adjustments they made here coming out the locker room.
Oh, and the kickoff return getting to midfield, and what a return by Devontae Key as they kick it away from Braswell, and a huge return to start the second half for Missouri State. 55-yard return for Devontae.
Well, they really needed that coming out of the locker room. Look at the first half stats. I mean, only 36 total offensive yards for Missouri State, and South Dakota State 251 yards. They control the ball, they control the time of possession, but it's only a 7-point game.
First half stats brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Shelley to right, huge hole. Big gain, and Wright breaks a tackle and gets inside the 40, down to the 33, and a first down for Missouri State. I believe that might be the biggest play of the day.
Oh, no question about it. So obviously they saw something in the locker room and made an adjustment to come out in the first play, get a big kickoff return, and then the biggest offensive play they've had so far in this game.
Shelley rolling, throwing down, overthrew his intended receiver, Kayvon Batulis, the senior from Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah, that wasn't a good decision by Shelley. You roll him to the left, and we talked earlier about it's tough for a right-handed quarterback to roll to his left. He's got to square his shoulders up, and Jason Shelley didn't do that. The ball just sailed on him, but again, I'm surprised he's not using his legs more. It looked like there was a lot of room in front of him to be able to run.
Shelley's going to take it himself. Wiggles his way inside the 30. Down at the 28-yard line by Reese Winkleman.
Yeah, that's what this offense needs. It needs a little more Jason Shelley using his legs to try to get some positive yardage. And South Dakota State, they tried to bring some pressure off the edge, and it got blocked up, and Shelley was able to jump inside and make some yardage.
Third and short as the Bears 3 for 8 on third down conversions.
High formation. You don't see that very often.
Pitch right, running left, and we'll see if he picked up enough for a first down. In fact, of course, our own coach Don Patterson down on the sidelines, and Coach, we got a chance to catch up with both coaches before we started the second half.
Yes, Coach Stiegelmeier commented he wished he'd maybe gone for it on fourth down instead of trying another field goal or two. So the thing that sticks in John's mind, lost opportunities. He had his chance to have 16 points, got 11. So he used that as a lost opportunity in the first half. On the Missouri State side, Coach Petrino said we got to simply find a way to run the ball. If we can't run the ball, we can't throw play action. If we can't throw play action, we can't win.
And they make the play action reception there, as Jordan Jones has been Shelley's favorite receiver here this afternoon, as they get their first fourth down conversion of the day.
Yeah, just a quick stop outside and an easy throw, not as long of a throw as we saw in the first half. So now the ball is able to get there a lot quicker. They're able to catch the ball and convert for a first down.
Shelley and company in the red zone for the first time against the South Dakota State defense. Back to the ground game. Wright gets cut down. Good open field tackle by Malik Lofton.
There was good tackle by Lofton. Looked like Jacardier Wright was going to turn that into a big game, but like you said, Wright came up, or Lofton came up and took his legs out from under him.
$55-yard kickoff return by Devontae Key has set up great field position, and Missouri State rolling for the first time against this stout Jackrabbits defense on our opening possession of the second half. Shelley intercepted by number 14 Colby Hunter, and Hunter, can he go the distance? Hunter makes a move, and he's wrapped up at the 24-yard line. First turnover by Missouri State since week 1. Wow.
And the first interception. But again, a lot of room out there in front of Jason Shelley to run the ball. Real reluctant to run it and just throws it right to Herder. They run that play action. They run the boot, and he never sees Herder. You see the boot right here. Got a lot of room in front of him, and he just never saw Herder. Just threw the ball and just threw it right to Colby Herder and turns it into a long gain. And Shelley has to fight off a block. It actually comes back and saves the touchdown, but again, just not a good decision out there by Jason Shelley.
Herder, the sophomore from Katy, Texas, gets the big pick and the first play of this second half from an offensive standpoint for South Dakota State. They go to the ground game with Isaiah Davis. Davis with just 34 yards on the ground in the opening half. Three missed field goals by the Jackrabbits in the opening 30 minutes has still made this just a one-score game heading into the third quarter of play. Can the Jackrabbits capitalize on our game's first turnover? Davis again gets some room, dives forward enough for a first down as he'll pick up 11 on the carry.
Good patience by Isaiah Davis, but we talked in the first half about you got to get some penetration to blow up the timing of these running plays. Missouri State just stalemated at the line of scrimmage. That allowed Isaiah Davis to kind of bounce around and be patient and then find a hole to jump through.
Boy, the Bears could really use a stop here and only give up potentially 3 points. They had all the momentum, and you could just feel the air out of the stadium right now. Now a little misdirection by Gronowski, and now he throws it into the end zone, incomplete. I think there was a little miscommunication in the backfield there, JC.
Yeah, obviously, and see there's a flag there, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was a lineman downfield because it really looked like it was going to be a running play, and some miscommunication, and then Gronowski throws the ball. Wow, so they got away with it since he was outside the tackle box. Was able to throw it away. Yeah,
great explanation by our officiating crew. Again, our head referee is Andrew Specially. Gronowski has time, throws, caught, touchdown, Jackson Yankee. 13-yard touchdown reception, and the Jacks take the lead 13-0.
Again, you talk about change of momentum, but a great job by Gronowski. He wanted to throw it to the front side to Hines. He's not open. Comes back to the middle of the field and finds Yankee running that crosser. Gets past the inside backer, Manalulu Leoa, and it's an easy throw and catch for a touchdown. But the offensive line gave him time. Gronowski did a good job of going through his progressions and finds Yankee.
Dustman makes it a 14-0 lead. So 7 points off the turnover for South Dakota State. It all started with the Colby Hooter interception, and it's capped by the Jackson Yankee touchdown reception. Jacks lead by 2 touchdowns. The Missouri Valley Football Conference recognizes South Dakota State's Reese Winkleman. Winkleman graduated in May of 2021 with a 3.87 cum GPA in sociology. He carries a 4.0 GPA while pursuing his master's degree in economics. Winkleman also earned second-team All-League honors in 2021. He has appeared on the Missouri Valley Football Conference Honor Roll 5 times and is a 4-time recipient of the MVFC Commissioner's Academic Excellence Award. And the Missouri Valley Football Conference recognizes Missouri State's Jose Pisano. The junior place kicker has a 3.22 cum GPA while majoring in economics. He earned All-American honors last year, which included second-team designation on the AP squad. Pisano is a 2-time second-team All-Missouri Valley Football Conference pick. He earned the MVFC Commissioner's Academic Excellence Award back in 2021 and twice has earned the MVFC Honor Roll designation. Jackrabbits get the turnover, and it results in 7 points as South Dakota State, third-ranked team in the country, leads it by 2 touchdowns over fourth-ranked Missouri State. Now, how does the Bears respond after that? As the short kickoff is taken, And Missouri State will get the possession at their own 29-yard line. How do we respond by something that really had the momentum to start the opening half, and all of a sudden, just JC, in a blink of an eye, things change, man.
Never know when the big play is going to happen. That's why you got to play every play as though it's the last. And Herder comes up with the big interception, and South Dakota State takes it from there. And now they're up 14 points.
Shelley on play action. Pressured underneath. Nice move by Dakota Wright as he sidesteps a tackler and makes something out of nothing there.
Yeah, and again, it's tough when you have a team that's sitting back in zone and all eyes are on the ball watching the quarterback. And so on those late developing plays, those plays that take a long time, those guys can see it all happening in front of them, can break on the ball even before it's thrown.
Ty Scott, one of the top receivers, at least in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, much less Missouri State. Leads in many categories, are in the top in the nation. Has one reception for -5 yards. Empty backfield. Shelley has some time, and it is caught but hit immediately at the 35-yard line. But we have a late flag on the play. Quentin Hicks with the hit.
And you know, Scott, what we're seeing is they're playing, they mean South Dakota State, playing zone defense, so they're breaking so quickly on the ball. And what Missouri State is doing, they're not sitting down.
Jason Freeman picks up the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yes.
And the aforementioned Ty Scott was there on the second reception of the day. 15-yard penalty, and now Bears back in Jackrabbits territory.
Yeah, I don't know about that one though, Scott. Not a lot going on there, right? I mean, the young man comes up with the big play, big hit. Got to get excited about that. It's football.
I can't disagree with you, buddy.
That's coming from a defensive back, though, right?
I know that. Danon already warned me. Not like I didn't know anyway.
Okay, all right.
Shelley. And he finds Latulis, and another big gain as Avon is wrapped up at the 32 of South Dakota State.
And you can see now that they're getting him outside, giving him some time, buying him some time out there, and the receivers making some plays for him, getting some separation, but they're trying to move him away from that front four to get him outside, to buy him a little more time to look down the field.
And Latulis working predominantly out of the backfield last year for Coach Petrino, now moved as one of the wideouts this season for the Bears. And Wright makes the misdirection play, the fake to Wright, and Shelley will take it to the 30 for a 3-yard gain.
And that's a 3-yard gain, Scott, but what that does is it makes that defense have to think a little bit.
Right.
There was some misdirection, fake handoff. Even though that was only a 3-yard gain, it was a successful play because now those guys can't just rush up the field. They've got to think now and look before they just run up the field.
On second down, nice hole, Wright. Spinning off a couple of tacklers. Great effort as he's finally ridden to the ground at the 15, but it's a 15-yard pickup, and they're moving the chains, JC, once again.
Yeah, watch the flow and watch him get skinny off the hip of the left tackle, Beebe. And now that by being skinny, he doesn't allow that outside backer time to get there, and he's late on it, and now he's able to get down the field.
We got whistles here, and it looks like we're going to get a review. Is that what we have here, guys? Looks like we're going to get, as our official heads all the way down to the south end zone, and we're going to get a review as far as a possible targeting call. So right now, the Jackrabbits with 4 penalties, and we'll bring back and let you know what the reviewer comes up with here at Plaster Stadium. J.C. Pearson, here's what was being reviewed during our timeout. We didn't catch this at the very end of the play. It's the run by Wright, and there you see Graham Spalding coming in, and they were reviewing a possible targeting call, but after the review they said there was no targeting, no penalty on Graham or South Dakota State.
Oh.
4 penalties for 34 yards for the Jackrabbits. Missouri State knocking on the door once again. Delayed handoff, right, another big hole, and Jacardier goes in for the touchdown. And the Bears answer with their first points of the afternoon at the 6:34 mark left in the third quarter of play.
They made some great adjustments at halftime, because even the first drive, they went all the way down the field, ended in an interception, but now they go back down the field. Again, a great job, just the delayed draw to Jacardier Wright. And now they're finding those seams, they're finding those gaps, using the aggressiveness of those defensive linemen against them now.
Lozano makes it a 7-point game. What an answer by the Missouri State Bears after the long penalty by South Dakota State to keep the drive going. Bears capitalize, they trail it by 7. This week's Missouri Valley Football Conference legend is South Dakota State's Zach Zinner. Zinner was a star running back for the Jackrabbits, rushing for at least 2,000 yards during 3 straight seasons from 2012 through 14. Zinner finished his college career with an MVFC record 8,211 all-purpose yards and a league record 69 total touchdowns. He rushed for a conference record 6,548 yards, more than 1,000 yards better than the number 2 on the list. Zinner was an undrafted free agent and played for 4 NFL teams. Jacardier Wright with his second touchdown of the season. The Bears answer here in the third quarter. It's back to a 7-point game at 14-7 in a Missouri Valley Football Conference game of the week. JC loved the response by the Bears there after the interception when they were driving on South Dakota State to open the second half of play, give up the 7 points, but they make it a 7-point deficit once again.
Completely different offense. Went in at halftime, made some adjustments, and completely different offense, different tempo, and able to move the ball all the way down the field both times they've had it.
Let's go down to the field and check in with Coach Don Patterson. Coach.
You know, one of the questions I had for Coach Stiegelmeier at the half, I said your 4 down linemen defensively have played great in the first half. They're all seniors, I noticed. My question to John was, have you given them enough relief in the first half so that they can be strong all the way through the end of the game? He thought so. He indicated they played 10 defensive linemen in the first half, and based on all that, he expects those 4 starters that are seniors to be strong from here to the end.
Well, one of the things that we have kept an eye on in this game is time of possession. That's what the Jackrabbits wanted to do, is keep the ball out of the hands of Jason Shelley. They've done a pretty good job up to date, and on first down they go up top to Jaden Yankee, who has one of the 2 touchdown receptions for the Jacks, and that reception good enough for a first down as they'll move the chains.
Well, now it's going to be up to the Jacks offensively to make some things happen. This is more the kind of game that we were expecting. A lot of offense from Missouri State, and the Jacks have to keep up offensively, so now it's back on them.
Johnson just can't cut the corner at all. Terrific pursuit by the Missouri State defense, as you see, led there by number 26, Taj Chambers.
Yeah, Chambers made a number of plays today. Former defensive back, moved him up to a linebacker position, gives him a little more versatility. He can blitz, he can rush, he can cover, he can tackle at the line of scrimmage. So he's a guy that gives them a lot of versatility defensively.
Loss of 2 on the carry by Johnson. Davis back into the game for the Jacks. Gronowski, quick step, drop back, finds Hines, and they'll get 8 on the reception by the tight end, who's had a big day here on the receiving end for the Jacks.
He really has, and big target, 6'7", 260. And you mentioned earlier that they lost Tucker Kraft, their #1 tight end, who got injured early in the season. But man, can you imagine if they had both of those guys playing at the same time? It'd be a real problem out there.
Double trouble, and then you got the Yankee guys out there. And oh, by the way, their receiver Landon Wolf also is out right now. Gronowski flushed out of the pocket. Mark's going to have to tuck it in, and he's tackled short of the first down. Terrific defense by the Bears, but we do have a penalty flag back behind the line of scrimmage.
Everybody's waiting for the call. It's the running back, Isaiah Davis, number 22. Watch him right there. I think in the tackle box, you can't go low like that anymore. You got to take that guy up high. Now, if you're out in space, that's a good block. But in the box there, you got to stay high. Again, just a safety issue. But now, 3rd and long, not with this offense, is really built. Not any offense is built for 3rd and 19, but especially them.
And they'll have the draw play, and Isaiah will just get a few yards, and it'll force another punting situation. I was waiting to see if Bears wanted to go maybe with a blitz. They looked like they did, but pulling back was Manulele-Ua.
Yeah, and on 3rd and 19, you can afford to just sit back and keep everything in front of you. All eyes on the ball and just rally to it, and that's what they did. And, you know, this defense has played well. We mentioned it a couple times in the first half where been put in some tough situations and come out of it pretty well. So they
Dustman, end over end punt. Mitchell is going to let this go, and it takes actually a Bears bounce, and Missouri State will have their 3rd possession of the 3rd quarter at their own 33-yard line. Bears finally getting on the board, JC, in their last possession. And really, one of the big plays I thought was the penalty on the defensive back for South Dakota State.
Yeah, but then they were able to move the ball, get Shelley outside the pocket, give him some extra time to look down the field and throw the ball. And then now they're thinking outside, and now they gash him right up the middle for a big touchdown to Jacardier Wright.
Shelley going long, and it is caught! Touchdown, Missouri State! Raylan Sharp with the touchdown reception, 67 yards.
Man, that is how explosive this offense can be. And I was looking at the other receiver that got tackled down here thinking it was a penalty flag. And next thing you know, Sharp is wide open. And Jason Shelley puts it right on him for a long touchdown pass.
We saw the same thing. Well, where's the penalty flags? Pisano could tie it. 2:55 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Number 3 and number 4 in the country are tied at 14.
And I'll tell you, whatever they talked about or whatever adjustments they made at halftime, they need to bottle that up, because this is a completely different offense than we saw in the first half. But look right here, Jason Shelley with the play action now to slow those guys up front down, and now able to just throw it down the field, man-to-man down there. Raylan Sharp runs that post route and pops wide open for Missouri State.
JC, we have talked about, and rightly so, the dominance of especially the front four by South Dakota State in the opening half. Right there, you look at that play, that was actually a blitz. And they no picked pressure. It up.
They picked it up, man. Yep. Max protect, pick it up, play action pass to slow those guys down, all set up by them being able to run the ball now, especially on that last touchdown run. So those guys can't just pin their ears back anymore. Now they've got to be conscious of that, and gives them a little more time to throw the ball.
And with that long touchdown pass for Jason Shelley, congratulations to him. He's passed over 6,000 passing yards in his career. Touchback by South Dakota State. Well, the one thing the folks here in Springfield have learned as Jason Shelley has taken over the helm as the quarterback, more times than not, the Bears are never out of it. The Cardiac Bears, they've had a couple of fourth-quarter touchdown passes, or comeback in a game earlier this year against UT Martin. In fact, you count them up, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 comebacks as Jason Shelley has been the quarterback in the second half, and specifically in the fourth quarter, by their what could be All-American quarterback this year in his career here at Missouri State.
First 10 from the 25.
Play action by Gronowski. Now he goes long. He finds Yankee. And Jax is finally stood up at the 47, but not before a 22-yard gain on that first pass play of this possession.
Yeah, and I talked about how Taj Chambers was a safety last year. They moved him down to the linebacker spot. He was in coverage on Yankee, and Yankee completely turned him around. Great route by Yankee, and comes wide open. And big play. And that's something they needed. This offense, now they need a couple plays to get some momentum and some confidence back and some rhythm.
Almost like we're watching a little bit of a boxing match here in the third quarter. Gronowski buying time, throws, and it is incomplete. Terrific coverage downfield by the Bears defensive backfield.
Absolutely, Scott. Nowhere to throw the ball. He had a lot of time. He was looking, but those defensive backs plastered. And that's what you call when you have that scramble drill. You got to find a guy that we used to say you got to plaster, means you got to go and find a receiver and stick to him. That's what Missouri State did. Great job.
Davis running to that left side, finds a hole, gets a first down and more into Missouri State territory. Those running right behind those two big preseason All-Americans in Greenfield and McCormick, and that opens a huge hole for him.
Absolutely, just like you said, not surprised that when they absolutely need it, they go to that left side. Those two big preseason All-Americans over there. Isaiah Davis just comes right off the hip of Greenfield, able to get down the field for a big first down.
Gronowski with another play action, and with that pressure by Missouri State, I think he probably had to throw that maybe a little bit sooner than he had liked to, trying to find Hines downfield, the tight end, and the incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think he looked a little too far down the field because Amar Johnson was kind of right in front of him. He could have just dropped it off to him easily after faking the run, but again, the pressure made him probably make a quicker decision than he really wanted to.
A lot of Valley fans may forget his first year. Mark Gronowski his freshman year was the short season that we played in the spring because of the pandemic. He wound up not just being just the freshman of the year, but the offensive player of the year in the conference. Johnson gets the call on the ground game, and he's had a nice game as they really split it up a lot more than I thought I had anticipated with Johnson and Davis in the backfield.
Yeah, well, you know, they really haven't been able to get their ground game going this year. You know, they just haven't been in sync, so they probably still trying to find out who's that guy. They love Isaiah Davis, obviously a great talent, but at the same time, his longest run of the year had been this year in the first half, only 16 yards, so really not in the rhythm of what they're accustomed to.
3rd and 4. And timeout is called by Missouri State. 37 seconds left in this 3rd quarter of play. And for Missouri State, they burn another timeout, as obviously Bobby Petrino and company did not like what they had set up on this important 3rd down play from a defensive standpoint. And so hence they call the timeout.
Yeah, either they didn't like the matchup or they had the wrong personnel on the field. Wanted to take a timeout because this is a huge 3rd down.
South Dakota State 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions against this Bears defense. Ball is spotted at the Missouri State 36. Bears have tied this game at 14 apiece. Davis grinding, still grinding, and I think he's going to fall short, JC.
He is. It's going to be 4th down, but this goes back to what Coach was talking about with his conversation coming out of halftime. And no hesitation right here whatsoever. They're going for it.
Missouri State had an effective 4th down conversion. How about South Dakota State? Oh, and Gronowski lost it. Regardless, it's going to be Missouri State football, but it looked like Gronowski had a little bit of a problem with the exchange with the center. That's the first time he's gone under center all afternoon long.
Yeah, absolutely, great point. And he was going to try to quick pitch it outside and try to get around the edge, but like you said, this is first snap all day long. And now here's something you can't have. You can't have a penalty
after the play.
After this play.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which team it's on. You can't do this right. You can't have this right now.
Got to be smart, man.
Yep.
Resulting in a turnover on down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 19 from Missouri State.
Well, Mike, and my question is, the penalty we're here, like you said, the muff snap, and he was just going to quick pitch the ball out there, and now you got the scramble, but it really didn't matter because it was the 4th down. And they've got they're calling unsportsmanlike. I think they had the wrong number
because it's Ty Scott, the wide receiver.
And there's no reason for him to be on the field right there. So he's probably saying, hey, man, it wasn't 19.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, couldn't have been me.
Bears take over on downs from their own 19. Shelley swings it out. And great pursuit by that South Dakota State defense. No gain, maybe even a loss of a yard. Selden Manning on the reception. However, big third quarter. That interception resulted in a 2-touchdown game for the Jackrabbits, but the Bears come storming back. We're tied at 14 after 45 here in Springfield. With J.C. Pearson, Coach Don Patterson, Scott Warman with you, our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week. Offense starting to roll here in the second half, and we, to no surprise, have a good one. Number 3, South Dakota State visiting number 4, Missouri State, tied at 14 as we head to the final 15. Bears, handoff, and a nice little run, and a late flag as on the carry was Selden Manning. And we're seeing Mr. Manning for the first time this afternoon, getting some totes for Bobby Petrino's Missouri State Bears. Penalties are starting to add up here, Mr. JC.
Yeah, they are. And big penalties at that. See Larry Wright, the third there, hasn't played very much all day. He comes in and gets a big penalty like that. That's not a good thing if you're trying to earn some playing time.
Third penalty for the Bears. 5 of them already this afternoon for South Dakota State. And when you talk about the two coaches who have, as we know, incredible past in Bobby Petrino and Coach Stig at South Dakota State, these are well-coached teams, and you don't see a lot of mistakes with teams that are playing for these respective coaches.
They rarely beat themselves. Penalties and turnovers are two things you can look at as teams being well-coached.
And now we have a potential targeting call once again. This is what, the second or third time we've seen a timeout on the field to look over a review of a possible targeting call.
And I don't know if this is on Shelley, but Shelley took a big shot on that play after he handed the ball off. And I don't know if that's what they're looking at or if it's something at the end of the play on the runner. Larry Wright right there on that crackback block, the wide receiver, the bottom of your screen, just coming back on that crackback and lowers his head. And
so that's what.
Oh yeah, anytime you have now a defender that's not looking at you, you can't do that.
They're still in the. Here we go. So no targeting call on Larry Wright. So with the penalty, puts the Bears back at their own 12-yard line. So now they have a 2nd and 16.
Yeah, he didn't get the targeting, but he still got the illegal crackback. And so
Shelley, play action, sets up the screen. Right, little sidestep, bounces off a tackle, still on his feet. Terrific effort there by the sophomore from Decatur, Illinois.
Great job defensively. Just one thing they talked about in our conference call defensively is effort. Right, run to the ball, give full effort, and good things will happen. And they were really talking about trying to trap Jason Shelley in the effort there, but That time it pertains to whoever has the ball. That time it was Jacardier Wright. And great job of pursuit, effort, not giving up, gang tackling, and hold them to a very short game.
Jack's going with a three-man line on the rush here. Shelley underneath, and terrific open field tackle, maybe a yard or two, as Sean Gales, the junior from North Chicago, makes a terrific tackle. And now we have an injured Missouri State Bear, Lance Mason, who is on the receiving end.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but again, they're just sitting back playing zone defense, and when you play zone, all eyes are on the quarterback. That's why you play zone, so then when he throws it short, you can rally up to the ball, and that's what Dyshawn Gales did. Unfortunately, Mason got hurt.
We'll check on Mason when we come back to Plaster. Well, it was a good sign after the timeout there, as Lance Mason taking a pretty good open field tackle and makes it over to the Missouri State sidelines, as Burkett with another terrific punt. Great coverage downfield, as Feldkamp cannot find any room to make a return off another huge punt by the preseason All-American Grant Burkett. Hey fans, to get all the recent news on the league's premier FCS conference, follow the Missouri Valley Football at valley-football.org and at Valley Football on Facebook and on Twitter. J.C. Pearson, Coach Don Patterson, Scott Warman, and our entire crew. Valley Football Game of the Week, a good one as we're in the final 15 minutes. Third-ranked South Dakota State on the road, tied with fourth-ranked Missouri State here at Plaster Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. Davis maybe gets a yard.
Number 22, Isaiah Davis on the carry.
Tariq McDonald with the stop.
Yeah, we saw that same play in the first half go for a long gain, but this time Kyrique McDonald comes up on the edge, keeps leverage on the ball, forces Davis to have to cut back inside, and the pursuit is able to get there and tackle him for a short gain. Looked like it was going to pop free again, but good job by McDonald.
Borowski steps up, throws complete to Jackson Yonke, and he'll carry a couple of tacklers with him for a few yards. Braswell and company finally stop him at the 48-yard line.
And I'm surprised they don't do that more. These Yonke brothers have been open all day, and surprised they don't just utilize them and throw the ball to them a little more, and then that will force this defense to have to play pass, and then it'll open up the run game a little more for them.
I mentioned Montre Braswell, who might be one of the more dynamic players in the Valley. He has been very quiet. Not only a guy who can be explosive on special teams, but defensively as well. Back to the ground game as Mr. Davis gets into Missouri State territory, as we're now under 12 minutes in this final quarter of play.
And no surprise, huh, Scott, when they do want to run the ball, what side are they running it to, right?
Left side, buddy.
We've been talking about it all day. That left side is where their two big horses are over there.
They'll run it again on second down, and Davis is cut down after a gain of maybe a yard.
Surprised Gronowski didn't throw the ball there. They really loaded the box up. Had 7, 8 maroon jerseys in the box, and not going to be able to run against that. And they still tried to run it. And that's one of those where you have to look at the numbers and check out of that and throw that ball outside.
Jacks are 3 and 9 on third downs. 3rd and 4. Bears bring 4. They swing it out to Davis. Isaiah, nice job on the sidelines to stay in bounds and get enough for the first down.
You know exactly where it's at, right? Smart play by that young man. Gets just enough. Knows that he can't jump inside because the pursuit's coming. Gets down the sideline and just enough for that first down. Smart play.
Kind of on his tippy toes there. Play action. Gronowski going to take it himself. Lowers his shoulder and makes headway to the 32. Give him 7 yards on that first down pickup.
Yeah, and that's something that he hasn't been doing a lot of, and they wanted him to get back to doing more, is running the ball, using his legs. He's a big, strong kid, very effective running it, a lot different than Shelley. They want him to be able to run in this RPO, and that's exactly what that was, and gets a 7-yard gain.
Now Davis back in the backfield with the sophomore quarterback. Gronowski being flushed, and he has to just throw it away. A lot of heat.
Wow.
As the blitz was coming from Aaron Harris.
No, he was outside the tackle box out there, but there was no receiver anywhere close to that ball. Thought he might have gotten caught with that one.
Third and 3. Bears fans on their feet. Run a reverse. Yankee, first down and more as Jaden's ridden out of bounds inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. 5 yards on the gain for the senior from Madison, South Dakota.
Yeah, you got to do your job, though. Watch number 12, the safety coming off the edge right there. He's responsible for the backside leverage. He goes down flat. You're not going to make that tackle over there. He gets beat back around the corner. That's a great job by South Dakota State using their aggressiveness against them.
Great block by Hines downfield.
Yeah.
But how about Davis making the fake actually like he was getting the ball too? Just perfect execution by the Jackrabbits. Davis this time spinning for maybe a yard as Manulele Ua on the stop for the Bears. 8.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Missouri State, South Dakota State tied at 14.
After a 1-yard gain, it's at the 21-yard line, 2nd and 9.
Gronowski throwing, Hines there, touchdown, Jackrabbits. Little play action pass, and Gronowski finds Hines, and the Jacks regain a lead.
Great play call. Play action right up the middle. Freezes the backers. The safeties split, and look, the middle of the field is wide open. The safeties are looking at each other like, who's supposed to be in the middle of the field? Some confusion there, but great play call by South Dakota State.
Dustman for the PAT. South Dakota State regaining that 7-point lead once again. Terrific drive by the Jacks. It's capped off by this Mark Gronowski to Zach Hines touchdown reception. Third-ranked team in the country, up by 7. Jackrabbits retake the lead in our Missouri Valley Football Conference Game of the Week from Plaster Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. 7:59 remaining in our final quarter. Who's going to come out on top? Third-ranked Jackrabbits or the fourth-ranked Bears of Missouri State? And there you see Mr. Braswell there, one of the most dangerous kickoff returners in all the land. And they are not even going to get it anywhere near Mr. Braswell, as the return on the pooch kick is received at the 37-yard line. Quickly take a look at an update on the scores from around the league. Again, 3 other games. It is a final as the Bison come out on top of the Yotes. And Southern fourth quarter up big over North Dakota, as Coach Hill's team doing a spectacular job rebounding after the 0-2 start. And there you see Coach Farley's Panthers up by 2 touchdowns at the break in Macomb. Big win. Congratulations to Nick Hill against Northwestern last week to get their first W of the season. Now looking to go to 2-2. They hold on there at Saluki Stadium. Boy, Wright breaking a couple of tackles, but eventually strung out. But really, JC kind of made something out of nothing, you know?
But look at the pursuit. Look how many white jerseys ended up around the ball. At least 6 or 7 of them around the ball. And that's that effort. That's that pursuit. But great job by Wright trying to make something out of nothing. But watch how many white jerseys end up hustling to the ball. Look at all those white jerseys. That's just effort right there. That's exactly what they were talking about.
Right again. And he's wrapped up. Maybe picked up a yard at the 45. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. But I tell you what, I know this sounds a little crazy. You're down by 7, but I kind of like the patience here a little bit by Bobby Petrino's staff. You're not making things so urgent. You still got time on the clock, right?
Plenty of time on the clock. No need to panic here and get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Do what you do best. Again, if they want to, this is 2-down territory right here if they absolutely wanted to. So no reason to panic here yet.
Shelley, play action, look out, and he is sacked. He is hammered back at the 39-yard line. Jared DePriest, the junior from Trivoli, Illinois, came in unscathed and just blindsided Jason Shelley.
Yeah, and he's got to know that he's got to get rid of this ball right now. His first read, he can't just hold it. He hasn't been able to hold it all day, so don't think you're going to be able to hold it now. And Jared DePriest just comes in and unloads on him.
That's a big play for South Dakota State. Forces the punting situation. And another fair catch is called by Feldkamp. 3rd and short. Jason Shelley absolutely hammered here. Jacks have the football when we come back with a 7-point lead. Mark Bronowski and the South Dakota State Jackrabbits back out on the field. They'll start this possession from their own 16. 5:40 remaining. They're up by a touchdown. And going to the ground game. Actually, during the break, I predicted this. I know I'm crazy. Isaiah Davis to the left.
The new offensive coordinator. This is not that hard.
Easy piece of cake.
Yeah. You see them taking their time, though. They want this clock to keep moving. You see them taking their time in the huddle, walking up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to use as much clock as they can. See Gronowski taking his time.
Yankees are split out to the top of the screen. And this one's to Jaden. And Jaden cuts the corner, gets a block from his brother, and he'll get the first down.
Now the clock starts to become a factor. In Missouri State, you got to come up with the big stop here.
They have 2 timeouts remaining. They took a defensive timeout in the third quarter of play.
Getting the clock moving. South Dakota State doing a good job, taking their time, get to the line of scrimmage. No hurry, keep the clock moving.
Davis again, this time running to the right side. He got about 6 yards on that carry to the 34.
Stopped by number 5, Farron Manu-Leilua.
And again, South Dakota State nice and deliberate here, making sure they have the right personnel and the right play in on this second down.
And keep the clock moving. They're not going to snap the ball until it's about 5 seconds left on the play clock. But the game clock is still moving. More importantly,
Taj Chambers checks back in defensively for Missouri State. And whistles and a timeout is called by the Jackrabbits. That is their first timeout in this second half. 3:33 remaining. Can the Jacks milk this one and pick up a victory on the road? Second down coming up for the Jackrabbits. They lead it by 7 as we head down to the field and check in with Coach Don Patterson. Coach.
Yes, just a quick comment, guys, about 4-minute offense. That's the offense, of course, where you want to burn as much clock as possible. And I would suggest to you, don't even put the linemen in their stance until the clock's on 8 or 9. And now, instead of taking it down to 5 seconds, go ahead and take it down to 2 seconds. Even those few seconds make a difference when you snap the ball 6 or 8 times.
And on that second down play, Coach, right there, they actually showed a different formation as they ran from the Wildcat on the direct snap to Davis. And very close to a first down by the run for Isaiah. In fact, they stop the clock and bring out the change to see if he got enough for the first down for the Jacks. And just short of a first down will bring up a third down for South Dakota State.
See the Wildcat formation here, just great penetration inside, at least with the initial hit. But I think Missouri State here, I think you got to sell out on third down and try to come up with a stop and force South Dakota State to, I'm sure if it's fourth down, they'll punt it away. But I think this could be the game right here.
They're 5 for 11 on third downs. And again, remember, coming into the game, Missouri State 13th in the nation in third down percentage as a defense, only 25% success rate. So obviously South Dakota State has beaten that percentage to date. Big third down here, 3rd and inches.
I think you got to bring him.
Gronowski with the sneak, and did he get enough?
Yeah.
He did, first down.
Oh.
And we get a late flag as the clock stops with 3:05 to move the chains, but also
Another
a penalty. And it looks like we have a second flag thrown. These flags, again, after the quarterback sneak.
And Gronowski's helmet is off. I don't know if it was due to a penalty, he can stay in. If not, then he's got to come out for a play, but don't know what the call is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 6. 15-yard penalty for the run, automatic, first down.
Preseason All-American Kyrique McDonald on the 15-yard penalty.
Right at the bottom of the pile. They're calling it right there. Umpires right on the spot. You see,
yep,
the helmet comes off right there, Gronowski, and so because it was due to the penalty, he could stay in the game. But more importantly, they got a new set of downs with the clock moving.
5th penalty on the Bears. Gronowski will keep it himself, and he'll get 4 on the carry. And now timeout is called by the Bears to stop it at 2:36, and now they have 1 timeout remaining.
Yep, you got to take them here, and at this point you've got to sell out defensively. I mean, the strength of this defense is supposed to be their secondary, so you got to put it on them. We're going to man up, cover 0, and we're going to bring everybody else and see if we can stop South Dakota State from getting another first down, and they can pretty much kneel from there.
Well, they've reset the clock to 2:39, so they've actually added 3 seconds during this timeout. Again, Missouri State in 12 previous appearances has only beaten South Dakota State 1 time, and that was back in 2014. Desperately needing a stop here. Second and 6 for Mark Gronowski and the Jackrabbits offense.
And if you're South Dakota State, there's no way they're going to throw the ball, is there? and risk the clock stopping. And they throw it.
Yankee, Jaden sidesteps. He's got some running room. Down to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, South Dakota State.
Well, if you're going to do that, why not throw it, right? They isolate them outside again. Said it's the strength is on this, supposed to be of this defense is the secondary. You man those guys up, but a missed tackle out there. And Yankee turns that into a long touchdown. Watch outside. Just an easy throw screen right here, but Caleb Blake just stops inside. Yankee kind of gives him that straight arm and gets outside and just runs down the sideline for a huge touchdown. Might have put this game away.
Second touchdown of the afternoon for Jaden. Yankees have 3 of the 4 touchdowns for the 3rd-ranked Jackrabbits. 2-touchdown lead with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. What a potential road win this is going to be today for the Jacks. And you see the disappointed Missouri State fans starting to head for the exits here at Plaster Stadium. And we were expecting a near capacity crowd, maybe the 2nd largest crowd they have ever had for a football game here at Plaster Stadium. So much buildup, JC, as you and I discussed in the opening of the game, and you could just feel the energy. And unfortunately for Missouri State and their fans, not much offense in the first half. They exploded for 14 points to tie it in the 3rd quarter. But for Bobby Bertrino's squad, for the most part, they have been held in check by this terrific South Dakota State defense.
They really have, and it's not over yet. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is a lot of time. I've seen stranger things, but you better believe that South Dakota State is not going to give these guys an opportunity to return this kick. Braswell, like you've been saying, one of the best in the country. They pooch kicked the last couple of them, and you better believe that they're going to do that again to keep it away from those guys back there.
Kind of like Isaiah Davis running left.
Yeah.
For South Dakota State. And fumbled by the up back and tackled at the 21-yard line. That was Taiwan Lee on the receiving end. Excuse me, that was not Taiwan Lee, but Trey Thompson on the receiving end for Missouri State. Well, we mentioned before there have been some spectacular 4th quarter comebacks for Missouri State with their quarterback right there, Jason Shelley. And he's going to have to pull off some magic here.
And quickly. They don't have time to just put a long drive together. They need some big plays.
Underneath, caught. And it's a gain of 9 yards.
Not enough to stop the clock to move the chains. Not a first down. So the clock is running. They've got to get on the ball and get moving.
Booker on the receiving end of that pass. Rabbits bring 4, and another catch. Is it caught? Yep, it is at the 48-yard line. Nice reception by Mitchell.
Being a 16 on the play, the 48.
We're going to look at that one.
And we're going to have a review. And some of the fans here at Blaster are not pleased with the review to make sure that that was a legal catch. And I think part of that is frustration from some of the Bears fans.
Yeah, and stopping the momentum. It seemed like they had put a couple good plays together there and had a little momentum, and now got to stop and regroup.
That's a little tough.
Can't tell really
on
from
the end
that
zone
angle.
shot. Yeah. There's Mitchell there and an ISO, and
there it looks like he's got his hands under it.
Yeah, it looks like it to me.
Looks like a good catch from that angle. Here's a good
angle. Well, the one thing I always say when you're going through replays, it has to be absolutely conclusive for the officials to actually overturn a call.
And I don't think there's enough there to overturn that.
Well, after this weekend, South Dakota State back at it again. We'll look at this replay once again from the end zone. And I think Mitchell got the reception there.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough there to. The call stands.
Jackrabbits will be back home in Brookings to take on the Leathernecks. Meanwhile, for Missouri State next week, they head out on the road to take on North Dakota.
Tell you, Scott, man, you are on it. Making the offensive calls. Give it to Davis. Special teams calls, a pooch kick, the official calls. That's doing it all, man. The more you can do.
Listen, better go get a lottery ticket. Huh? I'm pretty lucky right now.
Hey, I'll split it with you.
Okay. Well, for South Dakota State, they hold on here. Terrific win on the road against one of the top teams in the country, and Missouri State. Obviously frustrated from the standpoint you're here at home, but you're obviously playing one of the best teams in the country in your own backyard. But I'm probably a little frustrated from the standpoint that now you've lost 2 in a row. Again, if this lead holds up for South Dakota State, you're going to have to make more yards on pass plays as you're down to 90 seconds left. But I'm sure Coach Petrino's like, all is not lost. Lost to 2 really good football teams.
Yeah.
Shelley swings it out, and Jacardier can't slip past Deshaun Kale.
Yeah, but he was just trying to get to the out of bounds marker. That was the struggle there. Keep him in bounds, or he's fighting to try to get out of bounds, and was able to do that and stop the clock. Great effort by Jacardier Wright.
Gales was holding on for dear life, literally.
Trying to just keep him in bounds.
So 4th down from the midfield stripe. 4th and 7. Shelley flushed out of the pocket again. Throws, and it is caught. And it is a legal reception right at the sideline. Terrific catch by Larry Wright III.
Yeah, kept both feet down, and all you need is one, but look at that. Great job of catching the ball and body control. Good job by Shelley, too, having to buy some time to find somebody on 4th down.
Shelley stepping up, and he's going to take off. gets the first down and more, dives to the 26. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 56 seconds remaining. And while they move the chains, they'll bring in the play. Jack Spring 4, Shelley, intercepted, and that will do it. The interception by Durant, and South Dakota State is going to come up with a big road win here this afternoon at Plaster Stadium.
Yeah, it might have been the right read, but the ball just sailed on Jason Shelley and just went right to Durant. Just not going to get an easier pick all year, but again, they were moving the ball down the field. And again, might have been the right decision, just a bad throw. You can see Jason Shelley, he's just going to step up in the pocket and just let that ball go, and just really just sailed on him way over the head of the intended receiver. And ball just goes right to South Dakota State. Matthew Durant's not going to be any easier than that, and now they can just take a knee and get out of Springfield with the big win.
A little smile there from Coach Stig as gets a W in his 300th game as the head coach of the Jackrabbits. Well, terrific matchup between these two teams as Bobby Petrino and Coach Stigmeyer meet at midfield. And it's a victory for South Dakota State, JC, as they go to 3-1 on the season. And it's never easy, as you know, winning on the road.
Absolutely, especially in this conference. So a lot of football left to be played for both of these teams. Big win for South Dakota State, but by no means is it over for Missouri State.
So the Jackrabbits get a big road win in conference play as they defeat Missouri State by a score of 28-14. For J.C. Pearson, Coach Don Patterson, I'm Scott Warman, and Dana Lewis, our producer, and our entire crew. Thanks so much for joining us here in Springfield. A reminder, all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN Final Score from Plaster Stadium. Number 3, South Dakota State over number 4, Missouri State, 28-14. And so long from the Ozarks.